We traveled down to Cloverfields Farm and Kitchen in Hardin County to visit with Janine Washle in her kitchen. She makes her own sorghum, but she'll tell us exactly how we can use it in recipes around the house.
Yeah.
What have you got going here?
This is actually an old-timey recipe, and it's called foamed sorghum. And you just take a half a cup of sorghum, I just poured it out of a jar here, and you add 1/8 of a teaspoon, which is just a big pinch, of baking soda. Put it on the stove, it foams up, and basically what it does is it just mellows out the flavor of sorghum. A lot of people find sorghum kind of sharp tasting, some people even call it bitter, and this just mellows it out. And then this is a perfect breakfast treat on top of some biscuits.
That beats gravy any day if you ask me. Now, you've got some other ideas for
Yes.
using sorghum. This is how I always ate sorghum when I was a child, was on biscuits. But you've used it on popcorn. How do you do that?
Well, actually, this is the seed head from the sorghum plant.
Okay.
And you can, now we just grind, we can just rub the husks off because we've got fields of sorghum in the back. But now on Amazon, you can actually buy sorghum seed and you can pop your own. And I just noticed that Whole Foods is actually carrying bags of popped sorghum now.
How would you describe the taste?
It actually tastes like it has bacon in it. It doesn't, but it has this delicious bacon flavor. But look how cute these little tiny
ones.
Yeah, little tiny popped sorghum. And it just tastes delicious. I love it. But you can use it in other applications. We think of sorghum as something that we use on biscuits, but it can be used as a sweetener in desserts and even breads.
Okay, do you substitute it like you would for sugar, or do you use recipes with sorghum?
You would use, if it called for 1 cup of sugar, use a half a cup of sugar and a half a cup of sorghum.
Okay.
Sorghum is actually, we perceive it as less sweet, so we need a little boost.
Need
so
the sugar still.
Yeah,
okay.
You still need the sugar.
This is a sorghum pie?
Yes, and it's topped with sorghum whipped cream. So I put whipped cream in a bowl and I added sorghum to it instead of granulated sugar, and beat it up until it had stiff peaks, and that's the topping for this.
Okay, and then tell me about this bread.
Well, this is a savory dish using sorghum, and it's a sorghum yeast bread. And so sorghum was used to add some color, but also flavor. It's a savory bread, but you see how beautiful it rose. The yeast really loved that. So that is another way to use the sorghum.
Okay, so we can get access to these recipes by getting in touch with you. All you have to do is go to WDRB.com on our morning page. We've got all Janine's information about Cloverfields Farm and Kitchen, and she will send you the recipes and the different ideas that we've been talking about with sorghum today. Thank you, Janine.
You're welcome.